You're staring at your phone again at 11:43 p.m. The median home price in America just hit $408,800. Not some fancy coastal city, the actual middle of the country. You're lying on your couch in a rental that costs you $1,470 a month. Doing the same math you've done 3 times this week. It still doesn't add up. You bring home about $54,000 a year. You've got $11,200 in savings and a 694 credit score. That student loan payment hits on the 15th like clockwork. The house you grew up in, the one your parents bought in 2001 for $148,000, is now worth $390,000 on Zillow. You check it the same way some people check their ex's Instagram, just to see how bad it's gotten. You tell your friends you're saving up. You tell yourself you're being responsible. But at your current pace, it'll take another 4 years just to scrape together a down payment on a house that might already be worth less by then. The market doesn't care that you're trying to do things the right way. It never has. This is where most people stay stuck. Not because they're lazy or dumb, because they're optimizing for feeling safe instead of positioning themselves for real growth. Those two things feel the same when you're in the middle of them. They're not. Then one random Wednesday night at 11:30, you read a forum post. Some regular guy, no big name, no fancy credentials, talking about how he bought a house in Columbus back in 2019 for $174,000. Put down $8,700. Rented it out. The tenant covered the mortgage. 4 years later, he refinanced, pulled out $41,000 in equity, and used it as the down payment on the next property. You read it 4 times. The math is stupidly simple. What's complicated is everything you've been taught your whole life. Debt is dangerous, mortgages are a burden, real estate is risky. This guy was treating debt like rocket fuel. Something clicks. Not a warm, fuzzy feeling. A complete shift in how you see the game. Rule 1. At 0, your biggest obstacle isn't money. It's that you're still thinking like a renter. The second you start seeing real estate as a tool instead of an expense, everything changes. You start studying your local market like you used to study for finals, except this time you actually give a damn. You learn cap rates, cash-on-cash returns, DSCR, and why lenders care more about that than your W-2 when you're trying to get an investment loan. You understand the difference between a shiny Class A building with a 4.5% cap rate and a beat-up Class B duplex 3 miles away trading at 6.8%. You're not ready to buy either yet, but you finally get why one is a much better deal than the other. Then one Saturday morning your coworker casually mentions her aunt is selling a duplex. She wants out before the end of the year. It's a 1960s brick 2-unit in a working-class neighborhood that's been quietly turning around for the last couple of years. 2 miles from a hospital that just announced a $200 million expansion. She's asking $218,000. Both units are already rented for a combined $2,100 a month. You run the numbers in your car on the back of a receipt. Then again on a spreadsheet at home. You talk yourself out of it for 4 straight days. On day 5 you call her. You put 20% down, $43,600. That wipes out every dollar you have. You feel like you just jumped out of a plane. Your investment loan comes in at 7.1%. Your monthly payment is $1,174. After taxes, insurance, and setting aside $200 a month for repairs, you're clearing about $486 every month. It's not life-changing money, but someone else is paying your mortgage. Every single month. 2 strangers you've never met are slowly building your net worth while you sleep. That feeling is different from a paycheck. You don't quit your job. You don't post about it. You just handle the calls when the water heater breaks at 7 p.m. on a Thursday. You learn what a P-trap is. You manage the property yourself because at this size a manager would eat too much of your margin. Rule 2. The only house that makes you richer while you sleep is the one someone else is paying for. Everything else you own is just stuff. 18 months later, the duplex is worth $261,000 on Zillow. You've got $46,000 in equity and another $14,000 saved from your job. Your net worth just went from 0 to $68,000 in under 2 years. You refinance and pull out $28,000 in equity. It bumps your payment up $188 a month, and your stomach still does a little flip when you do it. But you're not spending the equity, you're moving it. You use most of it as the down payment on a single-family rental in a nearby suburb. Purchase price $197,000. Now you've got 3 units total, bringing in $3,580 a month. After all expenses and mortgages, you're netting $847 a month from real estate on top of your day job. You're 31. Your portfolio is worth roughly $458,000 with $156,000 in equity. You built this while most people your age were still convincing themselves they'd start next year. Rule 3. Below 5 units, you're a landlord. Above it, you're running a business. The rules, the financing, the mindset, everything changes. You buy a 6-unit building for $602,000 after negotiating $38,000 off the price. You bring in private money from someone you've been building a relationship with for almost a year. Now you're operating a small commercial real estate business. You hire a part-time manager. You start thinking in terms of systems instead of individual properties. By 34, you've got 9 units worth $1.1 million. Equity around $386,000. You cross $1 million in assets and it hits different. Not pride, wait. You built something real from nothing. You keep scaling. You syndicate your first bigger deal, a 24-unit building. Then bigger. Then much bigger. By 37, you've got 47 units across 6 properties. Real estate is throwing off more than your salary. You have real conversations with your spouse about capital allocation and exit strategies over Tuesday night dinner. You do a 1031 exchange on your original duplex and roll it into a bigger 32-unit deal in an undervalued market. Your net worth crosses $2 million. Rule 4. The deal matters less than the terms you negotiate to get into it. Most people chase cash flow. The ones who build real wealth chase control. By 43, your portfolio is worth $31 million with $11.6 million in equity. Net worth around $14.1 million. You've stopped obsessing over the number. What matters now is the structure, the velocity of capital, and the options it creates. You move into ground-up development, institutional partnerships, and larger asset classes. You stop caring what looks impressive at dinner parties. You make decisions based on actual returns. Rule 5. Once you hit serious scale, your reputation becomes its own asset. Brokers bring you deals before they hit the market. Lenders know you close. Sellers trust you because you've kept every promise for over a decade. By 51, you control 700 units across 9 markets. Total asset value $87 million. Equity $39 million. Net worth $52 million. You have a real team. You sit in rooms with other operators who control billions combined. The conversations are short and the decisions move fast. You mentor younger investors. You don't give them hype. You show them the actual numbers from your first duplex, the $486 a month, the 7.1% rate, the terrifying moment you handed over the keys. You tell them what nobody told you. Real estate rewards people who go deep on one market, one asset type, one set of fundamentals until they know it in their sleep. The person waiting for perfect conditions is still waiting 20 years later. Right now, somewhere in this country, a 27-year-old is lying on their couch in a $1,470 apartment, looking at a $408,800 house on Zillow, and doing the same math that doesn't work. They're telling themselves they're being smart. They're waiting. The 30-year fixed rate is 6.37% this week. It was 6.62% last year. It might dip a little more. It might go up. The market isn't going to pause until your savings account catches up. The question isn't whether the moment is perfect. The question is what the next 20 years looks like if you keep waiting for it to be. The machine doesn't run on confidence or motivation. It runs on the first small, terrifying, specific decision. A duplex. A phone call you almost didn't make. A down payment that takes you to zero. After that, someone else starts paying your mortgage. After that, the math starts working in your favor. After that, you finally understand what the word asset actually means when it belongs to you. It always starts at that $408,800 number on the screen. It always will. If the story hit you, If you're sitting on that couch right now looking at that $408,800 number and doing the same math that doesn't add up, then don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is the one where you decide to make the first move. Hit that like button if this gave you clarity. Subscribe if you're ready to stop waiting and start building. And drop a comment below telling me, what's the very first step you're going to take this week? Because the machine doesn't care how scared you are. It only cares whether you pick up the phone and make the call. The $408,800 balance is still sitting there. It always starts there. The only question is, are you finally ready to start? I'll see you in the next one.